Get a load of this kid. Great talent. Needs to realize as a franchise quarterback, there has to be more we than me.
It's boy, you can't hide that hate for too long, boy. It's a squeaky wheel gonna ask for grease.
Okay.
Every time.
Rex Ryan just went after Shedeur Sanders again. Not for a loss, not for an interception, for a photo shoot. And this time, the internet did not let it slide. Because when you line up everything Rex Ryan has said about Shedeur over the last few months, a pattern starts to show up. And on live TV, Cam Newton looked straight at that pattern and called it exactly what it is. Stick around, because by the end of this, you're going to understand why grown men in the media can't stop talking about one rookie quarterback's jersey pictures. So here's what actually happened. Over the summer break, while most of the league was quiet, Rex Ryan hopped on social media and took a shot at Shedeur Sanders. Not about his arm, not about his reads, about a photo shoot. Shedeur had done a campaign shoot in his Browns jerseys, the kind of thing players do every single offseason without a second thought. Rex Ryan looked at those photos and decided this was the moment to drop a lesson on leadership. His exact words were that Shedeur is a great talent, but as a franchise quarterback, there has to be more we than me. Translation, in Rex Ryan's mind, Shedeur is out here making it all about himself. Now, on the surface, that sounds like veteran wisdom, a former head coach dropping knowledge on a young player. But when you actually look at the moment he chose to say it, the timing gets a lot more interesting. This wasn't after a bad loss. It wasn't after a locker room blow-up. It was during the offseason, months before Shedeur has even played a single snap of the 2026 season. He was at a team-organized event doing exactly what every rookie with the jersey deal does. And that's where the panel on this particular show stopped and pushed back hard. Because if you're going to build a whole narrative around a guy being a me type of player, you better have more than one photo shoot to point to. You need patterns, you need receipts, and right now, Rex Ryan doesn't have either. What he has is a rookie who took a backup job, turned it into a starting job by mid-season, and led the entire NFL in jersey sales while doing it. That's the part that got buried under the criticism. So the question the show started asking wasn't really about the photos at all. It was about why this particular player, out of every single guy in that locker room doing similar content, is the one getting singled out.
Well, former Jets head coach Rex Ryan is back on social media bashing Shedeur Sanders, this time for Shedeur's latest photo shoot. Here over the summer break, Rex Ryan tweeted saying, "Get a load of this kid. Great talent. Needs to realize as a franchise quarterback, there has to be more we than me." Come on, man. How about Rex? You come on.
Pause right there, Peggy. See, somebody has to say it.
Yeah, what's up?
It's almost like the pot calling the kettle black. Because when I look back in my almanac,
Okay.
Pete, this, when he was the New York Jets coach,
Yeah.
it was always about Rex Ryan. Always. That doesn't make him a bad guy.
Yeah.
When he was on Hard Knocks, it was always about Rex Ryan. Doesn't make him a bad guy.
Yeah.
It was always about, hey, being this type of guy, personality, whether he wanted it or not.
Let's pump the brakes for a second, because this is where the story actually gets good. Because here's the thing about Rex Ryan calling anybody a me guy. This is a man who built an entire coaching career on being the center of attention. Go back and watch Hard Knocks with the Jets. Every episode, every press conference, it was Rex Ryan's world, and the team just happened to play in it. That doesn't make him a bad coach or a bad guy, the hosts were quick to point out. Big personalities are part of the league. But it does make the criticism land a little different when it's coming from someone who lived that exact same energy for over a decade. And that's really the core of the double standard being called out here. Some players get to have personality. Some players get to have swagger, get to have a brand, get to sell jerseys and do campaigns, and nobody blinks. But the second Shedeur Sanders does the same thing every rookie quarterback in the league is doing, suddenly it's a character flaw. Suddenly it's a locker room problem waiting to happen. Nobody said a word about the time Shedeur pulled up to his own training camp with his mom and his sister and put in extra work on his own time. Nobody flagged that as a distraction. Nobody brought up the moment that went semi-viral where Shedeur talked about almost bringing a boombox to warm-ups, then decided against it because it was his first time starting and he didn't want to be that guy. That's maturity. That's a young player reading the room. But that story doesn't get the same airtime as one tweet calling him selfish. The panel's point wasn't that Rex Ryan is a bad person or that he's not allowed to have an opinion. It's that the standard has to be consistent. If every single player with an autograph deal and a jersey campaign gets the same level of scrutiny, fine, that's fair coverage. But when one guy gets picked out of a whole roster of players doing the exact same thing, that's not analysis anymore. That starts to look like something else entirely. And the fact that it's happening during the offseason before a single snap of real football has been played in 2026 makes it even harder to explain away as pure football criticism.
And his jerseys for the campaign. And it's just like, how is that not being a team player? Or how is that like you being full of yourself?
If that's the narrative that you want to take, cool. But if you're trying to cover a story, don't cover the door handles. Don't cover the muffler. Mm-hmm. Don't cover the doggone ashtray. You got to cover the whole car.
Yeah.
The reason why he was there in the first place was he was at a team organized situation.
Well, that situation right there was a photo shoot that he had of his jersey.
No. The narrative that is trying to be painted is it's a me type of guy.
Yeah.
As if to say he's not entitled to create whatever image or control his narrative however he wants. As if to say, if you just want to take that and say, here's a me guy, he's also in Miami or wherever they were, still affiliated with the team,
correct,
or alongside with Deshaun Watson,
correct,
and the other team members of the Cleveland Browns.
Correct.
So if you're going to cause any type of issue to one and not mention the other, brother, that's a flagrant foul.
Yeah.
And this next part is where it stops being subtle. One of the hosts flat out said it. It's become abundantly clear that Rex Ryan has picked his guy to go after, and it's Shedeur Sanders. Not because of anything that happened on the field this season, since there hasn't been a single game played yet. Not because of a loss, because there hasn't been one. Just because Shedeur exists in the public eye, and Rex Ryan keeps finding reasons to bring him up. The line that really summed it up was simple. You can't hide that hate for too long. Like a squeaky wheel that keeps asking for grease, every single time there's a moment, Rex Ryan is there with a comment. And the hosts made the comparison that if this criticism came after Week 4 loss, after Shedeur had actually been out there struggling on Sundays, fine, that's earned scrutiny. That's part of the job. But this is a guy who is still in the process of proving himself, still working out, still doing everything the organization has asked of him, and getting hit with commentary about being selfish over a jersey photo. What makes it land even harder is what Shedeur has actually done since stepping into that quarterback room. He didn't walk in as the guy. He walked in as the backup to the backup. And from that spot, he ended up taking over the starting job in the middle of the season and led the entire NFL in jersey sales while he did it. That's not a stat that happens by accident. That's a level of attention and belief from fans that most rookies never sniff, let alone a guy who started the year buried on the depth chart. And through all of that, nobody from inside the Browns organization, not a single coach, not a single teammate has come out and said Shedeur walked in acting like it was all about him. That description is coming entirely from outside the building. It's coming from people who don't sit in those meetings, don't ride the bus with him, don't see what he's actually like day to day. So when Rex Ryan builds a whole narrative around one word, me, taken from one tweet about one photo shoot, the panel's question was simple. Where is the evidence beyond the vibes?
Shedeur's your favorite player.
Because I'm like, what is your, like, come on, bro. He was mind his business. I can see if this happened during the season, after a loss, after the game.
It's off-season, brother.
And he's still working out with his team.
And look, Rex Ryan I like Rex.
Rexy.
You know what I'm saying? But it's like, it's boy, you can't hide that hate for too long, boy. It's a squeaky wheel gonna ask for grease.
Okay.
Every time.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's like, bro, with Rex, let the dude pose. It's the off season. If this was week 4, Everybody would be up in arms about out of all the times y'all just lost and you worried about a autograph signing? No. But when you keep diving or delving into the situation of Shedeur has made leaps and bounds and has done everything imaginable for a young player, a quarterback, a person who has garnered a lot of attention from a franchise to do.
But the thing is, too, I would say this. Coming into the league, everybody was just stuck on this. Mm-hmm. It's me, I'm Shedeur, da-da-da. But one thing that we haven't heard, even though we're hearing this from Rex, is from his team saying he came in saying it was all about me. You know what I'm saying? In his predicament, backup quarterback actually won the starting spot, led the NFL. Backup to the backup. And you end up leading the NFL in jersey sales?
Unheard of. Unprecedented.
Now here's where Cam Newton stops letting it slide. This is the part of the segment that actually got people talking, because Cam Newton didn't just nod along, he drew a hard line about how he covers players, and it doubled as a direct shot at exactly the kind of criticism Rex Ryan had been throwing around. Cam said it plainly: the way you judge Patrick Mahomes is different than how you judge Josh Allen, meaning the standard shifts depending on who the player is, and that inconsistency is the actual problem, not Shedeur posting a jersey campaign. Then Cam went even further and made it personal in the best way. He said he's a fan of all players, that it's his job to cover the sport and give an honest critique of it. And then the line that hit the hardest: you will never hear me say something about a player posting something, because I know what it means to be a player. This is the offseason. This is time off from anything the team requires. If a player wants to post pictures with his family, post pictures of his jerseys, post pictures of his cars, that's his right. That's not a character flaw. That's a guy living his life during the only stretch of the year he actually gets to. That's not Cam Newton making excuses for Shedeur. That's a former MVP quarterback, someone who has actually lived the life of a franchise guy under a microscope, explaining exactly why this kind of offseason criticism misses the point. Once the season starts, Cam said, that's a completely different conversation. Then production matters. Then decisions matter. Then every headline is earned or not earned based on what happens between the lines. But right now, in the middle of July, going after a rookie for a jersey photo shoot isn't football analysis. It's just noise. And that's the response Rex Ryan is going to have to sit with. Not a screaming match, not a subtweet war, just a former MVP calmly explaining the difference between covering a sport and picking a target. Cam Newton didn't raise his voice once doing it, and that's exactly what made it land so hard.
Now, that's my quarrel. And it's okay, Cam. Well, the way you judge Patrick Mahomes is different than how you judge Josh Allen. Yeah, but listen, I am fans of all players. It's my job to cover the sport and give my honest critique of it. You will never hear me say something about, a player posting something, because I know what it means to be a player. This is the off season, and I off of doing anything that the team requires me to do. If I decide to take pictures of my family, take pictures of my jerseys, take pictures of my cars, I can do so.
Yeah, sure.
It's off season. Now, once the season starts, that's a whole different type of discussion.
So let's bring this all the way home. Strip away all the noise, and here's what this actually comes down to. Rex Ryan took one photo shoot from a team-organized event and turned it into a referendum on Shedeur Sanders' character. Meanwhile, the same guy spent his own coaching career being the biggest personality in every room he walked into, and nobody's calling that hypocritical by accident. The panel didn't say Rex Ryan can't have an opinion. They said the opinion needs receipts, and right now all he's got is a tweet and a vibe. Then Cam Newton stepped in and did what actual accountability looks like. Not yelling, not a diss track, just a clear standard. Judge every player the same way, or don't judge any of them during the offseason. Because a rookie quarterback who went from backup to starter to the top of the league's jersey sales chart in a single year has earned the benefit of the doubt, a lot more than a critic looking for a reason to pile on. Rex Ryan is going to keep tweeting. That's who he is. But after Cam Newton's response, the next time he goes after Shedeur, everybody watching is going to remember exactly how thin that criticism actually was. So here's the real question for you. Is Rex Ryan genuinely worried about Shedeur's leadership, or is this just a hater who can't stand watching a rookie run away with the spotlight? Drop a comment and let us know which one you're buying. Smash like and subscribe.